while we are waiting for Biola. Okay, good morning, Letitia. Good morning, Kaka. I'm happy to have you guys here again. How's our day
Thank
going?
you. Very
Very
well.
well. Good morning, Frida.
All right, so
Good
it's
morning.
Very
all
well.
about
Morning,
sorry.
Shamaka.
Good
Someone
morning.
is on. Hello, we are online now. Okay, let me send it to you again. Yeah. That's I sent it there. Sorry, I was supposed to send. She said she didn't get the link. So we're talking about submissiveness, being independent, patient, and forgiveness. So it's all about being a wife before you find two, because a marriage is a wonderful thing. It's not just marriage is not relationship. So we have to get our mind prepared in order for we to better our marriage and make our marriage a bed of roses. So it's all about positive vibe. Our aim is to promote positive vibe as much as we can, touch less as much as we can. So um why I send the link to Biola. So and Kaka, like I said, we'll be talking about submissiveness, being independent, patience, and forgiveness. So, Kaka, we'll start with you. What do you have for us today on our topic, being a wife before he finds you? Hello, Kaka, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello, Kaka, can
I
you hear
think
me?
his network,
Can
oh,
you hear me?
she can
I
barely
can hear
hear
you.
you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I said you should go ahead. So I'm waiting for you. I said you should go ahead.
Okay. I'm talking on independence as a woman or as a man, as a woman, because we're talking about being a good wife. We are expected to be independent because the truth is that no man will want to get married to a liability. No man will want to get no. Every man is expecting a woman to bring something to the table. So as a woman, you're expected to be independent, to have something of your own, something you are doing, so that you can be able to support your husband. Even if your husband is rich, you're expected to do something, at least have your own money in case something happens. You'll be able to stand up for the family and also have your own property to your own self. Because me, I love, even when I got married, my husband was telling me I should sit at home, I should not work, although I was working with a bank, and he told me to, because of the distance, I should just stop working, I should just sit at home. And but I was not comfortable because there are some things I needed, I cannot be asking my husband. So I had to say, okay, since he stopped me from going to go and working as a banker because the distance was very far, um I need to start something. So I had to end up teaching. So it's better, even if the man says you should stop working, even if the man look for something, even if it's a trade, even if we have online business now, you can, if you are good in public speaking, you can start there than sitting down depending everything on your husband. Depending, one day your husband will ask you, what you as a wife, what did you bring into the family? And I don't think any woman will want to we accept such language from a man. So as a woman, we are expected to be independent, have your own business, have your own something that you are doing that you can use to support your husband. And I think that's all about independence and being submissive. As a woman, you're expected to be submissive. You should not you should respect your husband, and while the husband should also respect the wife. One thing about relationship is communication and relationship. If there's good relationship, I don't see why a woman should not respect her husband and why her husband should not respect her, her, his wife. So I think with that, I've been able to see something about being independent and being submissive.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the reason I added this submissiveness and being independent together, because they work. I think they work together,
And
because most times why most men stop their wife from working, because when they start working, they just feel as if they are on top. They lack respect and they don't do what they ought to do as wife. So I'm encouraging someone out there, for you
Letitia, why we wait for Frida? Why not say something about it?
Okay, I'm just going to come in from a little bit from where you stopped, Chamaka, because it's actually very important to have your own thing, whatever it is, just try to work out something, it gives you some sense of belonging. If you don't have anything to offer, man, it's going to be difficult for you because coming to think of it, taking care of yourself is already difficult because if you have to spend all the money you have, I keep telling people this, it's painful sometimes when you spend your money. Like you just take out your money and it's your money you worked for, probably saving this money, and you take out the money. It's very, very annoying already that you're taking this money out. Then comparing when you now talk about somebody taking care of two people at the same time, you
Fine.
can imagine it's normal for the
Yeah,
person to feel a certain way. It might not really be that this person is wicked or something. It's natural.
yeah,
The person might just feel before he gets used to it. So I think it's also very important that every woman has something to do. There was something I learned from somebody just with what you actually said. She was actually working in a place, but then when she had children, she decided that she was going to quit her job, get something different that would enable her take care of her children. And you can imagine somebody who worked in a very big place and decided to go teach.
Your
She
husband
said,
also.
if I go to teach in a government school, it will give me the time to take care of my kids,
yeah,
and then I'll have more time. Then I was wondering, sometimes you need have to just come down to doing something that will make us that will occupy our space of being a mother and also being independent, because you can't say because you're a mother you're going to fold your legs and just be at home take care of the kids. What if they need something? What happens if the husband stop working? What happens if anything
yeah,
happens? You understand?
yeah,
Unfortunate thing happens. It's normal. It's part of life. Anything can happen to you. So I think it's also very
yeah,
important if we reconsider sometimes, you know, get consider other things. I think the reason why sometimes some children are left without thinking is because the society is focused on be independent. Then nobody's talking about how do you try to bring in motherhood, bring in being independent. So you could mix the two of them. So if it gets to a particular time, you should think of okay, so now how do I accommodate the fact I'm a mother and I have businesses? What do I do different? There are also different ways you can accommodate the two of them. I think it's important we are thinking about it now because when people tell me why are you hustling so much, I'm like, oh, I go hustle. Oh, I cannot cry. I cannot shout. I want to even be comfortable now. Talk more when I get married. So I think the thing is, at this point, because of the experiences I have with people or I've learned from people's experience, and I begin to think about it that, wow, time will come. I might not have to be doing what I'm doing now. I might not have to do something else that will accommodate my marriage
mm,
and accommodate my kids. Okay.
yeah,
And another thing I'm going to talk about is patience. Patience is one very vital thing whether married or married. I'm that kind of person that when I set out to do something, when I take out money to go buy this thing, I actually have to buy it before coming to my house. So I'm very spontaneous. And then sometimes I might end up because I think I have to get that thing, not getting the right thing. Do you understand? So it's actually
yeah,
very important that we are patient sometimes. You might set out to do something at that particular time might not be right, but then you have to learn to be patient. Do you understand? Let's say you're looking for we've been praying for husband and the rest of them. Sometimes God wants something different for us. How are you patient enough to wait on God? If you actually hear him, it's very important you wait on him. Okay, like the was it 2 days ago when all of us saw the engagement of Mrs. Chinwo and all of us were really excited. But then they were waiting period that most of us might not even know. But then probably she had to hear and wait on God for the right time. And I don't know. We're not in the future, but as far as today's content, we are very comfortable with the person she's engaged with. Do you understand? So I think it's very important if we actually apply patience in everything we're doing, even before marriage, even while you're in it. So that's my piece.
yeah,
Thank you very much, Letitia. I was saying something before the network just cut me short. Like I was saying that submissiveness goes in line with forgiveness. Sorry, with being independent.
independent.
Like for you to most times most women stop their wife from working because most women they don't know how to control it when they are now financially buoyant. You understand? They now see their husband as equal, as if they are equal. Like They don't have respect. They don't do what they are supposed to do as a mother. So my advice to every woman out there, that you are working should not deprive you of the fact of being a mother, being a wife. You should know what you should do. Not the money shouldn't enter your head, for crying out loud. You should know how to manage that money. You should know how to manage your character. You should be submissive as much as you can. David Ubiome was saying something. Submissiveness is not being weak. It's just for you to just be loyal, just to be respectful as a wife. That's just it. So, Biola, you're welcome. I don't know if you have anything to say concerning what we're discussing about submissiveness, being independent, patience, and forgiveness. So, I don't know what you have for us. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I mean, I just
In
joined. I was asking in what context. So when you say submissiveness, is it like in marriage, right? Because when someone talks about being submissive, it's just marriage that comes to mind for me. So is that what you're referring to?
Be submissive.
Yeah, like it's only in marriage. Like when I hear the word submissive, it's in marriage that comes to mind. So that's why I'm asking that. What's the context? Because I just joined, so I'm not sure what context, like in what situation you guys are speaking about.
Okay. Submissiveness is just all about being respectful as a wife, being loyal. Do you
Oh
understand?
yeah, so
It's
that's what
sorry
I'm
for
asking.
just
So is it marriage? That's what I meant. So
the marriage.
I think he's in marriage.
okay, okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Letitia. I just needed context. I mean, it for me. I'm a Christian, and I know that this is something that the Lord has, um, He has asked me to do, and I also think that for my own good, for the it's wisdom for my marriage to or the home that I get into to flourish, be happy. And like Frida said, it's not weakness. It's me honoring my husband, who God has placed as the head of my home. So now I really think that the responsibility is responsibility the word. It's now, I guess I'll say it's now left to me before I get married to know the person I'm getting married to. Is this the type of person that I know I can submit to? And when I mean that, I mean, is my husband even submitted to God? Because that's the man I want to marry. Someone that is submitted to God. So that way I know he's not going to treat me in a bad way. He's not going to go off on his own or go off in his own wisdom. If the Lord asks him to do something, he will do something. So I need to be certain that the man I'm married to is submitted to God. And that way it will help me be submitted to him too, because I know he listens to God. What the Lord tells him to do is what he will do. He's not just doing his own thing. And so that's it for me. I know I will be submissive to my husband, but the responsibility, it's on me to be certain that I'm marrying someone who is spirit filled, who loves the Lord, and he's is submitted to Jesus. So that's like my own take on this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Most women think that being submissive is maybe you are being weak, or maybe the man you are going into slavery, but that's not it. If you are a woman, or if you are someone that is dedicated to God, even the Bible even made us understand that we should be submissive to our husband. So if you are dedicated to the will of God, you should know that you have to be submissive to your husband. Now, let me give you an example. Now, I'm working. Letitia, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm working and I know that I'm supposed to prepare dinner. Do you understand? I know that I'm supposed to be home as early as I can to prepare dinner. So, and okay, I close work from 4, and I know that it's already 4, and I'm going home. Instead of me to start going home to make sure that the food is ready, my kids ready, I'm going to visit a friend, or maybe I see a friend in the way. I start discussing, and before I'll see that the time is running 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. I'm not yet home, and when I go home, the food is not ready, and my husband is there. So I'm just trying to give an example. There's some situation whereby, maybe say for instance now, you are hooked up with something. Maybe you can't meet up to that time. There's nothing there for you to just pick your phone and try to ring your husband, depending on the understanding. Darling, please, I'll be a little bit late. Bear with me. I have the soup in the freezer. If you can help me, do me well, just to help me warm the. You should be conscious of the fact that you need to do this thing. You understand? You should be conscious of the fact of that submissiveness as a wife. I don't know if you guys are if you guys are getting me. You should be conscious that you need to be there whenever you are needed. So let's not think that submissiveness is being weak, or you are just trying to enslave yourself in your marriage. No, it's just for you to be respectful as a wife, doing what you need to do as a person. So for those of us that are working, let's try to manage our time and be that submissive wife that we need to be as a mother and as a wife. So let's go to forgiveness. I learned something from my husband. Um, and I want to say this, that every marriage there are bound to be some issues. Do you understand? So we should learn to forgive. My husband would not carry an issue to the next day. So we should learn to have the spirit of forgiveness in us as much as we can. We should just try to, try to settle whatever we need to settle, and don't take your quarrel to the next day, because it's going to affect a lot of things. And there are some things I would want to talk about. When you are having issue with your husband, you should not let it be announced. I don't know. You should not let it. You should learn, as for us preparing for marriage. You should not let it be announced. Like, I can be. I have my brother-in-law. They were staying with me. I have people that were staying. If I'm calling my husband, you will not even know. You will not even have the sign that we are even quarreling. But I know that we are having something to understand. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Which I know that we are definitely going to settle on our own. We started it and we are going to settle it. So we should try to be able to understand it as much as we can, to be able to also forgive one another. So I don't know what you guys have about this forgiveness. So what do you have to say, Letitia, about forgiveness in marriage? Sorry. Hello, Letitia, can you hear me? I think the network is spoiled. Can you hear me?
She's
Um,
muted. Okay,
Can
we
you
can hear.
unmute your speaker, please?
Yes.
Can you unmute your speaker? Thank you.
Okay, yes. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, now
So
we can.
I think is actually forgiveness is very important. I think before forgiveness comes kindness, because really you have they won't forgive. See, some people don't know what it is to move on, get to just let it pass, to not hold on to the fact that nobody's perfect. They want to be able to go to the later. Why did this happen? They don't want to understand that you might not have known when it happened, or probably because you don't have information what you would have done better. You understand? Because I think most of us, the thing is that most of us are not even prepared for marriage. And when we get in there, sometimes we don't know how to deal with people. You understand? We don't understand that these people are coming from two of us are coming from two different backgrounds. We grew up differently. We know things differently. We need to unlearn things, learn new things. So are you giving these people an opportunity for them to learn why you are together? Or will you kill them first before they learn? So that's why we need people to be kind, first of all, because once you're not kind, you won't understand that people have flaws, and then it doesn't define them. It's just how they grew up to understand something, how they were raised. Some people were not raised in love. Some of us, and it's easier to forgive when you are probably raised in love. Okay, we need to move on. We can't kill ourselves. Nobody's going to die. This is just an incident. So please don't do this again. It affects me this way. Are you able to communicate? Are you able to tell the person that, okay, this is how this situation affects me, and it makes me react like that? Okay, don't react like this next time. Why don't you try to react like this? Like, I listened to Pastor K a lot, and he said something like, you have to learn to communicate. You have to learn to communicate to somebody, tell the person, especially how you feel, how the thing affects you, so that this person can know, okay, oh, I don't have to approach it this way because I used to think this was the right way. But since this way affects you, why don't you try to approach it differently? So I think it's easier to forgive people who are kind, and people can actually learn to unlearn things that they knew, that some people call it baggages that people come into the marriage with. And these are the things that make forgiveness a little bit difficult. So I think it's very, very important. Then I have something to say about when you said something about some women being independent and they think at the end of the day when they make money that they're disrespectful. This is actually an unpopular opinion. The truth is that most men, the only thing they offer is money. The only thing they know how to offer is money, because probably that is what society has taught them. To be a man means to have money. Yes, but there's a whole lot. Do you have empathy? There's so many things you need to have, even respect as a man. So what happens to them is that once the woman now has money, they have nothing to offer, and then they don't probably get as much opportunity as they would have when they have to, when it looks like they're enslaving somebody. They can give you any amount of money. You know, when you need it, when you need money, you're loyal. So just imagine when this person has money, what else is he bringing to the table? Because he already has money, you already have money. He doesn't have to give you money. You can buy a car if you want, you can buy a house. It doesn't mean you won't be submissive. But then what else does he bring to the table aside having money? So I think a lot of people need to go through marriage counseling before they get into marriage. So they know that having money isn't enough reason why you should just get married. And that's not all you're bringing, because situation can turn. This person can become wealthy tomorrow times 10 of what you have. Then what happens? You begin to feel inferior. You begin to feel the person is, there's how you look at people, you just begin to feel certain way. That's not true. Sometimes you need to approach them. That's not what they're trying to bring out. You're just feeling lesser because you feel this person is going to react this way because this person is like this. That's not correct. So I think a lot of people should know that they can bring what more than money, because once this woman has money, then there's nothing you're bringing to the table. Then that looks like you're less. So that's my take.
Oh, that's nice, Letitia. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I have a lady in in my street, and the husband. I think the husband doesn't have a job, but she's one doing. The way she talks to the husband, like I don't understand. I feel so bad, like because maybe the husband doesn't have, and it's so touching. Like, and I think we should learn from that. No matter how wealthy we are as a woman, let's respect our husband. Very, very important. Not just like Letitia said, it's not just money. You have a lot to offer as a woman. You have a lot to offer, because I believe that it's every woman's duty to build a home. It's not even the man's duty. Like, it's the man's duty, but 100% is based on we the mothers to build a home as a wife we are. So and as a mother we are too. So Biola, what do you have to say?
Um,
Hello, Biola. Hello.
Hi Frida, sorry.
Yeah. So,
I think, I mean, my own take on forgiveness, I mean, it's something I'm practicing or I'm learning to do with, and it's not just even about like marriage. I really think if you practice forgiveness on a daily basis with friends, with colleagues, with your family, it's easier when you get into marriage. So that way, how do I put it now? So your friend offends you today and you don't communicate it to them. I really liked what Letitia said about Pastor K talking about communication. So if I'm not learning to tell my best friend or one of my close friends, oh, you hurt me, this is what you did, I don't like it. And then we have a conversation and move on from there. Like I feel like, and I also like that she said that a lot of us don't even prepare for marriage, or some people are not prepared for marriage, because all of these friends and all of these people we have around us are in quote practice before we get into marriage. So if I cannot forgive my sister that did something to me, if I keep bringing it over and over again, if I cannot forgive my mom for something she does, and these are people I'm living with, I'm going to live with my husband for. I've lived with my parents and all my people for over 20 years. So it's like by the time I get into my husband's house, we will live together for over 20 years. So if I'm not learning to forgive, let go of things in while I'm there, what do I now want to do when I get into my own home? So I really think that to speak on forgiveness, just speaking on forgiveness and the preparation for marriage, I would like everyone listening who are yet, if you're yet to get into your own husband's home or your own wife's home, practice it with the people around you. Learn to communicate your feelings, because it's what I'm doing. If someone offends me, I tell them this is what you did. Even if I can't tell them in the moment, I make sure I'm not overreacting, and I tell them that, oh, I cannot talk right now. So that's what I do these days. Like if I'm upset and I don't want to say anything when I'm angry, I just tell them, oh, I can't talk right now, but I'll explain later. I write down my thoughts. What are the things that are offending me? And I tell the person, and we see how we can move forward from it. So I really think practice now before you get into marriage. And then because my faith is very important to me, the Lord was reminding me, there's a meeting that I join every Saturday, and the Lord for the last maybe 2 3 weeks had been reminding us about love. So if you read through First Corinthians 13, it tells you different things about love. So if I love my friend, if I love my sister or my mom, then love does not keep records of wrong. I won't be saying, oh, Frida, you did this to me 2,000 years ago, or he did this to me last week. And even though we might have talked about it, I've not let it go. Or Letitia, you said this thing to me, or you looked at me in this way, I didn't like it. But we've already spoken about it, so let it go. So love keeps no record of wrong. Love, like there's so many things about love in
So
that chapter.
sorry, Biola, is there any extent, can there be an extent for you to forgive when it comes to forgiveness?
It's
Can there
all
be
the
an
way.
extent?
No, I really think it's all the way. And the reason why I say this is because for the offense that you think is too great that you can't let go, the Holy Spirit, like for us that are Christians, if we allow the Holy Spirit heal our hearts and help us through it, He will help us. And that's the whole thing. Like I always say this thing, like if you don't ask Him for help, how would you experience Him as your helper? Jesus gave Him to us as our helper. So, and I'm saying it because last year I had a broken engagement. I could be hating the person right now, wishing him bad, that this will happen to him, this will happen to his family. No, instead, I find myself praying for him. Whenever I think about him and I remember the hurt, this still even happened. Today is what, Saturday. This still even happened on Wednesday. Something happened and he had to call me. And just seeing his phone call, my heart was already so heavy. And I'm like, oh my God, like I thought I'd moved on and all of these things were better. But then instead, I started praying for him and I'm like, God, I know that I too would have had my own fault in however the thing scattered. So all I ask is just bless him, do from the bottom of my heart. And by the time I finished praying, I felt peace. I felt relieved. So for me, I feel like even those grave things that can happen to you, my mom and I, we didn't have the best relationship up until 2020. I could have said I'm never forgiving her. I'll be bringing up all the things she has done for me. But no, I asked for help. Lord, restore this relationship. So I really think for the offenses that you think are too grave, ask the Holy Spirit to help you. He will help you. It will be painful, but he will help you restore that relationship. And okay. Because I'm like, what happened? What just happened? What just happened? Letitia, can you hear me? Oh,
Yes, I can hear you.
that. Yes, as
Yes,
a
I can hear
Christian,
you.
okay, awesome.
Yes, you can go
As a
ahead.
Christian, thank you, sis. A lot of people just think that, oh, we are following so many rules. Oh, we have to be religious. Oh, this, that, that. God is not after rules and us being religious. He wants a relationship. So if you're in pain, talk to Him. If you don't understand something, ask Him questions. If you feel like, oh, this temptation is too great, or oh, I've sinned, how do I get up from it? Talk to Him. It's help. The more you ask for help, the more He will help you. And when you come out of it, you'll be able to share with people. The only reason I can even
Yeah.
say it here that I had a broken off engagement is because he has helped me heal. He has taken me through those painful nights when I couldn't sleep, when I was crying, when I'm like, how do I even let this go? How do I open up my heart to somebody else? So it's possible to forgive. And I don't think there's an extent that, oh, I'll forgive you to 50%. No. So that's really my
Yeah.
take. Yeah. Yeah. Frida
I
is
think
what?
what you actually said is very profound. Very,
Mm,
very, because the thing is, I used to tell people that I use giving as an example. It's difficult
mm,
to give when you're not a giver. I tell you,
exactly.
people who receive things is easy to receive, but it's very difficult to give, because I've had situation where I have to process some givings, like when probably somebody say come borrow me money, and I process it in my head. I'll take time and be like, okay, I want to get to feel that once I give you this money and you don't return it, I don't feel bad. Once I
Yeah.
get that in my head, I just give you the money and they don't always return it. So I think what you said is very important. We need to practice forgiving. You need to
Yes.
know that it's not easy.
Towards
Forget.
you.
When they say it's easier to say I forgive you and then I shift you, I don't have to ever deal with you again. It's different. If you have to still deal
Yeah.
with those people, you need to really, really pray and like
Yeah.
learn how to forgive. And
Can you
again,
guys hear me now?
it's very, very important, because if you go through a whole lot, like I always point out to the fact that leaving my family and coming out to a different place here, and then I have to live by myself, I learned a whole lot of things that I didn't know, because why I was there, I was there to
No.
worry about. In short, I don't really get to I don't get to, I mingle with people, but then there's this boundary thing. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time with people, so you don't get to experience something. People don't get to treat. You're on the street, so people can tell you anything. People can people will show you their true color. That's when you now be like, God, how was this person able to betray me like this? And then you have to see the person tomorrow, and then
Yeah,
you have to between, should I ever not talk to this person again, or should I just talk to the person? And you will never be at peace if you don't forgive the person.
yeah,
So just have to now forgive, and then you find out that people who have hurt you so much, and you're loving them. You're
yeah,
wondering how, but you also know that it took you the processes
yeah,
where you have to be
exactly.
like, oh more, this thing feels so bad. There are people that I talk to today. I know, I keep wondering, like, it's only when somebody reminds me of them that I have to be careful of them, because I'm telling you, they will hurt me tomorrow. They're not
Mm,
planning to change. They
yeah,
won't change unless the Holy Spirit deals with them. They won't
yeah,
change. But then I have to still deal with them every day. But I don't have to now shut them out and the rest of them, because probably they're even on my everyday routine, like work and the rest of them. So I have to learn how to not look at their shortcomings, not look at if they are going to betray me tomorrow. I'm just going to be
yeah,
careful, but carry on. So I think forgiving is very important. You just have to learn it. It's not
yeah,
something, if you think it's easy, then you've not had pains that you have to deal with. Like
yeah,
what you said about broken engagement. People don't know how it feels. You know how it feels, especially when you have probably gone to social media, like, I am engaged, check my fingers, those craziness, and then at the end of the day, it doesn't work out. Yes, like almost you will now be torn in between
yeah,
people. Yes, you don't have to think about people, but then forget, no matter how coordinated you are,
yes,
if people will come to your mind, you have explanation to do with people who are going to ask you, people who are going to mock you.
exactly.
How are you going to forgive this person knowing that people are actually mocking you
Exactly.
every day? Like people are going to, this girl, she just showed off. Okay, now I know this thing will not last. I know. I'm looking at that boy's eye. It was obvious I don't work. Those craziness. How are you able to go through those
Yeah,
things, and then you have to still see the person tomorrow, be like, hi, good morning, how you doing? You
exactly.
even have to even pray for the person.
Yeah. It took a whole lot because
That's
honestly,
another level of forgiveness, seriously.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And for me to have gotten to this place, I mean, it's a year. It's been a year now, but God really did help me. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing too hard. Like, there's nothing too hard. Like, it just requires us asking for that help and meaning it. Like, I feel like over time I've learned that God only listens to like heartfelt prayers, like prayers that are from your heart, because He knows what is inside.
Yes,
He knows how you feel. So it makes no sense if you are going there, you are saying, "Oh God, I just want to thank you, this, that, that." Meanwhile, you know you truly came to say something else. Or
yes.
you want to pray that, "Oh God, I want a car." Meanwhile, in your heart, you already know, "Oh, I want a Toyota." Why not just say the Toyota that,
I know
okay,
they
God.
actually, and he listens.
Exactly. And He listens to us. So that's what I've been learning, that if I can be open, like to God, that's
Mm,
all He really wants from me. Just that openness. When
yes.
when I'm like really sad, when I'm very angry, when I'm happy, when I'm struggling with one thing or the other, when I feel like I just lied to this person, or oh, how do I get over this? Or I'm dealing with shame. How can I take
Can you
up this
guys
guilt?
hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can.
yes. Welcome back,
Okay.
Frida.
Yeah, my
Back.
network is so bad. I have a question before my
Mm,
network goes back bad again.
okay,
I have two questions to ask. Sorry to cut you short, Biola. You're going. Sorry, I'm very very sorry.
no problem.
Does submissiveness sorry, does submissiveness involve in you um um giving your husband access to your password, your Facebook password, your WhatsApp password, receiving your calls, um, going through your messages? Like, does submissiveness entail? Sorry for my pronunciation. Does submissiveness entail that? And the second question is what's the other question? Being when it comes to forgiveness, like, is it right for you to tell your husband, like being open, like tell him everything as much as you can, like just open up, tell him whatever you want to tell him, like being so 100% open as a wife? So I don't know if you guys got my questions, the two questions I asked. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to gain my voice. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, I understood it.
Okay, can
Yeah,
I
so
go? Can I go first? I think
mhm.
for me though, um, okay. So I think for me, first of all, you have to marry somebody you can submit to. Because I'm telling you, with this issue of people wanting to get married and then you just itch with somebody and then the person is has a whole lot of garbage. See, the truth is that if you can't respect people, you can't submit to them. Because I'm not going to tell you that there are people, if I can respect you as much as and there's understanding, why you don't really have to tell me to give you my pass. Don't tell me to give you my passport password. Let me see that it's something normal, like it's normal. There are times you want to go through people's timeline to just see how their timeline is, something like that. But then these things are just things. I don't think there's a rule for you to actually have to do that. But then I think there shouldn't be a lot of privacy when you're married to somebody. I think you should be able to be open. You're not hoping to do anything bad, I believe. So why would you be up too uptight? You can share anything, but for me, I'm going to be very honest. I don't like some people attacking me like, you have to. No, don't do that to me. Just ask me politely. Let me see reasons why I'm even doing it. Because if I feel attacked, I'm not going to give you my password. But for normal, I would. Why not? I'll tell you my password. I just want to feel safe around you. I don't want to feel like you're trying to take something from me. No, you don't take anything. You are entitled to having me, you're entitled to come into my space. So, but don't act like you're attacking me. Just calm down, relax. It's normal. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to do something bad. But then don't come at me with some sort of making it look as if I have. Then it's just about the person actually. Because if it's not somebody you love, not somebody you're in together with or something, I think it's going to disgust you, especially the way they come. For me, do. So I think whatever works for anybody. I don't think there's anything wrong in doing that, unless the person comes with attacking it. So what's the second question?
Like being very open, like telling your husband everything as much as you can. Let him be the
Oh,
first person to know anything concerning your secret life before someone else should be able to.
depends
Should
if
not
he's
able to
your
find
best if he's your best friend. You get, that's the thing. If somebody's your best friend, you can tell the person anything. You want to be safe. I think being open comes with being safe, not being judged, because I am not the kind of person that is very, I'm very kind and very easygoing, but then there are things I don't naturally sit down and discuss unless there are people very close to me. Do you understand? There are questions that ordinary people you ask me, I'll not even answer. I was looking at you like, how are you coming from? Then there are people very close to me, when they even ask me the question, I'll just laugh. I'll be like, like this. You get. So I think it's actually good to be very open to somebody you're married to. There's nothing. You just for you to actually make the person understand that you don't want to be judged to an extent, and also your partner should know that being open comes with being safe. You want to be safe with somebody. Then first of all, the person has to be your best friend for you to be able to tell the person anything. You understand? That's why they say friendship is very important in marriage. Be
wow.
intentional about making that person your friend on both sides. Yes, because I don't think if you're not friends, I'm not going to tell you anything new from my angle, Sha.
Okay. Biola, over to you. Let's
Viola,
start this time. Over to you, Biola.
yeah,
Thank you very
I agree.
much.
I agree with Letitia that shouldn't be a rule that, oh, you must show me your your phone and I must go through your messages. No, I really think, I mean, this is my friend. Like, I really like what you said also, that it is important to marry if your best friend or like your friend, someone you're guys with, because at that point in time, like the way I am, if my closest friends ask me for my phone, when I give it to them, I'm not thinking, oh, this person is over there going through all my stuff and wanting to. And even if they are, I don't even think I will feel anyhow because they already know the gist. Like, it's something I would have already told them in one way or another. So it's not a, I feel like when you make it a rule, oh, give me this, then that's when people would start feeling like, yeah. So I really think, and even with my parents, I just looking at them, that's just how they are. Like, they don't have time for, like, what's that? Like, they just believe that both of them are guys. They all know what's going on in each other's life. It's only maybe, oh, let me use your phone and call. I don't have enough credit, or my network is not so good, or maybe she needs to get a contact for my dad's phone, or my dad needs to get a contact for my phone. The both of them don't even send all those things, and that's because they already share everything that's going on with them. So I really think yes, it's important that we are friends in a marriage, like you marry your friend. So that way there's no need for, it's not a rule that, oh, I must go through your phone and see who you're texting or all of that. No. And you guys are already open with each other. If you marry your friend, it means you're already open, you're able to share, you feel safe. So I really agree with what Letitia said. First of all, it's not a rule, and you shouldn't be coming, oh, I'm entitled, I'm entitled.
Hello?
No, marry someone. Yeah, we can hear you, Frida. Marry someone that you're
Hello?
already friends with. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Mm. Marry someone that you're already friends
I
with,
hear you,
and
Frida.
Okay.
yeah,
But
marry
is
someone you're
Bella
already
still talking?
open. Yeah, I'm almost done. Marry someone that you're already friends with and
Yes.
open, so that that way, like it's nothing, like it's nothing, and you're not going there feeling like, oh, I must check my husband's phone, you must, or you for a guy I must check my, no. Just marry someone that you're open with, your friends with, the person, you guys are safe, no one is judging each other, it's, you're able to speak. Yeah, so that's my take.
Oh, thank you so much for being patient. Like the network is so good today. I'm very, very, very grateful that you guys stayed behind and ensure that the work of God is going on. I would call it the work of God, seriously. Like we discussed today, it's all about being patient. I'm not going to talk much because of my network. Being patient, submissiveness, forgiveness, and then being independent. As a wife, you have to be submissive, you have to be independent. Please, no money is too small. Even if you're making 1 naira a day, it's very, very important. And learn to manage your time while being independent, and learn to be submissive. Submissiveness is not you being weak or you being a slave. It's just you being respectful as a wife, being that lovely, that beautiful wife you ought to be as a person. And you need to be patient with your husband. That sometimes that things will not be going well, you need to understand your husband. So sometimes I just want to give my husband, like when I know he has a lot on him, I just want to let him be. I just want to let him be, seriously. I just sometimes I'll just think, why not just like maybe hang around, like maybe sometimes just have a space for yourself. You can just, because my where I stay, the I have the brothers live close to me. I just think, why not just go there, have some quiet time. Even if it's a hotel, you can just lodge. You understand? Just think about, make sure your head is calm. You will just be laughing. Sometimes you should be able to be patient with your husband, know when they are passing through some things, because most times the load is too much on them. They'll take care of family, they'll take care of your children, they have the parents to take care of. Most especially when you're getting married to the first son of the firstborn of the family, my dear, you need to be patient as a wife. So I just think, let me just say this for you out there that is married, getting married to a first son, I think you should be patient with him. They have a lot. Like try to manage. When I mean manage, manage with them. When you shouldn't just bring your family problem all the time to him. If he's capable to do it at that time, fine. There's sometimes that he just needs to be on his own, just want to be alone. Like just I'm using my husband as an example. He's the first son, he has a lot on him. So when I'm having some family issue on my own side, I won't want to tell him. But when everything is like calm, I will now bring up the issue. I'm like, why did you tell me? Oh, I told him, no. You don't tell a man everything, and it's just fine. So let's learn how to be patient with our husband. When they are giving you 5,000 naira and they didn't, and you ask them for 5,000, and I give you, maybe you ask them for that same money, and they don't have that 5,000 to give you at that time. Whatever they give to you, please manage it and just try to do something with it. And for forgiveness, let's learn to forgive. Very, very important. For the question and ask, for being open. Like I got married to a friend. I tell my before in short, before I tell if any of my friend everything, I will first of all tell my husband. Like we discuss, he's my gossip. What do you mean we gossip? Like my gossip mate, we gossip a lot. So I tell him everything concerning me. He knows everything before everybody knows about it. He knows everything concerning me. So he just tell me his secret. He just tell me his secret.
Frida's network is very good this morning. It has been very good.
Frida, if you can hear us, we can't hear you.
I think while we're waiting for Frida, I think our network is so good this morning. I think it's also important people get to know that even if you don't get to marry your friend, you can make your husband your friend. You can just be intentional about about it. You can just be open, try to do. You can read up how to do that. I mean, I don't know how best to do that, because I know if you go online, there are a whole lot of teachings. Especially if you have to put somebody like Pastor Kingsley and Pastor Mildred, and every other a lot of people online too that teaches about relationship. You can be intentional about just being friends with the person, just trusting them, just like trying to, don't rush to best friends, just start from somewhere, try to communicate to the person and also get to understand the person, because sometimes we don't understand people, we think they're not our type. But the thing is, we need to understand, how do these people think, what's actually like, how do they feel loved, and the rest of them. These things are important, so that when you're communicating to them, they value, and then it doesn't, you sometimes you say something to people become off rude. Somebody like me, like when you, in short, there's how you ask, tell me good morning. I'll be like, if I keep answering this good morning to come something, it doesn't like though I'm that kind of a person. So you have to also understand that people, it doesn't mean I'm insecure though. I just want to put you at bay. Like, before you come with me to me with attacks, just chill. So you have to understand that this kind of person, this person is, can be very open, doesn't mean that you can come up on them anyhow. Like when say you're angry about something, you have to bite your tongue. You don't say everything to people. Like this, how you feel. Yes, you have to put how you feel into context. Tell the person, but they don't have to come out. I just feel like it's so stupid. I feel like it made me feel stupid. Things that make the person feel attacked shouldn't really come up. Why having to discuss things? Because the person needs to also understand you. And then, I think sometimes people disagree, is that you come off with them somehow, and then they're defensive. but if you're calm around them per se, and they feel okay, you're actually telling me how you feel, they feel safer around you, they can actually communicate better. It's just like a lot of men feel that way, unlike women, and women come up confrontational sometimes. Some people want to just I want to just go through the whole process to heal, but then you just have to understand the person you're with to know how best to deal with situations. Think
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I really like that. So Frida called, so she said we could wrap up the show. So just wanted to thank everybody for listening, and we hope that we were able to share something that you can take and just chew on. And like
Mhm.
Letitia said, please listen to Pastor Kingsley and Pastor Mildred. They are full of wisdom. I feel like they have a special anointing when it comes to relationships. So please, 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 the more you consume content or feed your soul, that type of
Yeah.
way your home will be scatter scatter. You would have joy in your
Honestly.
home, and that's what you should feed on. So stop taking advice from people who are not even keeping their own home, and why not go to people whose marriage is working. We see that their teachings have helped so many lives. We see testimonies online. So please plug into what they're doing. I also listen to their sermons from time to time, and I'm so blessed by it. So yeah, thank you so much. I don't know if Letitia has any last words. If not, we can wrap up for today. Mm.
It might is just try to listen to a whole lot of other people too, I just recommend a lot of people that actually listen to. I listen to Apostle Joshua Selman,
Yeah,
my pastor as well, Sammy and Acho. These are people that actually build me, because if I am the way I used to be, it won't be nice, and then I want to be better. So I think
yeah,
we should just be intentional. Just go off to
yeah,
people you think you want to listen to. You mustn't listen to people that you do listen to, but make sure you're listening to somebody who has wisdom, so you
yeah.
can learn. Don't all know a lot of things. You have to learn some things. That's just it. That's all for me though. Thank you guys very much. It was a wonderful day. Except for the network, we had fantastic time.
Yeah, we had a good time. Thank you for watching. Okay, bye.
Bye guys.